Oh my gosh, you all are giving me the best responses to the video on ADHD Life. I just can't hold back. Like, I have to give you my responses right now, which is such an ADHD thing to do. But I'm reading this comment that says that it's hard to not, when you have to talk, you want to say so much, right? And how do you know what is too much or too little? So let me help you understand this. The thing is that we think very sequentially. Sequentially? Not sure about that word. So basically, we think with a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has to go in order. So when we talk to someone and they say, oh, so tell me what happened, we start from the beginning and we go to the middle and the end. But what happens is people get so sick of the story and they go, just, okay, enough already. Just tell me what your point is. But we can't get to the point because the point has to be in the beginning, middle, and end. So what happens if someone interrupts us is we have to start over with the beginning, middle, and end. And it's a very frustrating process for us, for them, because if they interrupt us, then we have to start all over. It's kind of like building a Jenga game or something. We have to start it all over and then we can get to the end. But it's really hard for people to be patient with that process. This happened to me when I did my TEDx talk. Each of us are assigned a coach, and the coach would edit my TEDx. And when she did, I couldn't even comprehend the changes that she made. I mean, literally, it was like jibber jabber. Like, I didn't know, is this English? I don't even know what this is. I can't even understand it. And I would rewrite it. And she said, Sean, stop writing me TED Talks. You have written at least 13 different TED Talks. But every edit she gave me scrambled my brain. It was like I had this nest and she just pulled a feather out of it and it fell apart and I had to rebuild it all over again. Oh, it's just the way that our brains work. So the good part of that is we can be really good storytellers, great storytellers, very captivating, have the whole sequence there. We don't jump to conclusions where people get lost and like, well, where were the missing details? We fill that in. But the problem is when someone is asking us for something, we can give too much details, too much information. So here is a little structure to help you. When you get a text or a message, let's say you're in a group of people and they're talking back and forth, limit yourself to 3 sentences. 1 to 3 sentences. That's it. If someone asks you a question, consider the answer and don't give the story. Don't give the story. Don't give the context. The reason why we do that is because we're asking for permission. We're saying, please understand that there's logic behind my experience. There's logic behind my judgment in this situation. We're constantly appealing to the public to see that we're being logical, that we actually have reason behind our stories, our thoughts, our feelings. And because so many people have accused us of not, we have to give the story. We have to give the evidence. It's like we're a judge in a courtroom and we have to give the jury of life our evidence to say, see, I do think correctly. I do feel correctly. I do perceive correctly. This makes sense given this information, right? We just go through life doing that. And guess what? You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to ask for permission. You don't have to get approval. You don't. As children, we did, but as adults, we don't. But it can still feel like we do because we get so much negative feedback from our loved ones and people in our life that may continue to give us that message. So in response to this question, that how do you know if your responses are too long or if you go off topic? Keep it short. Don't give the story. And stay with the topic at hand. If you're talking about rabbits, stick with rabbits. Don't talk about dogs. Don't talk about cats. Stick with the rabbits. And think of your conversation like a tennis game, okay? Think of it like I say this, you say that. I say this, you say that. So it has to go back and forth. Do not continue on until the other person hits it back. So for example, they say, how are you? Oh, I'm doing great. Da 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 da. 3 sentences. Limit it. I'm doing good. Life is great. A lot's been going on. How are you? Okay, so you hit the ball back, right? Now, some people don't want to, if they don't want to carry conversation, they'll end there. They won't give you open, okay. Do you see what's happening right here? I am going into a whole other video right now. So I'm going to stop right here and practice what I'm preaching and not go off topic. Because what I was about to do was to go into like conversation rules, okay? But instead, I'm just going to keep it where I have it so far, which is the answer. I give too long. I go on and on. How do I know the difference? I get nervous energy. I don't want to be perceived as arrogant, self-centered. How do I handle that? If it's text, email, 1 to 3 sentences. If you're in conversation, back and forth, don't give the story, just answer the question. You don't need to ask for permission. You don't need approval. You're okay. You don't need permission to exist, my friend. As kids, it sure seemed like we did, didn't it? And you know what? We might blow it. We really might. And people might get mad and they might get like, oh God, there she goes again, whatever. But this is where we just have to love ourselves and accept ourselves. Know that that's a choice, not a feeling. You choose to accept yourself like you would if you had a child who was struggling with those things. You just love on that kid. And just know like you're not going to get it right. You're going to put your foot in your mouth. You're going to say the wrong things. You might lose friends. You might make people mad. But there will be people in your life who are going to be patient and compassionate and understanding. And know that your intention is not to harm or do wrong, but that you just have some neurodiversity and might miss the mark sometimes. And those are the people that we want to invite into our world. And if you don't have them, they are there. And we just got to build this community. So I hope this helps. I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to answer that question. Just couldn't wait. And there's so many more. I have not been on my YouTube for over a year. And there's reasons for that. 2 weddings, a death, lots of stuff going on. So I haven't been here, and I've been creating, and I've been trying to get my intention. And so I could really be clear about the value and content I give you. So I came and I'm just looking at this, and you guys are all energizing me so much, making me very excited. I cannot wait to dive into this and answer your questions. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for supporting me and my work in helping here on this platform. I am Dr. Shawn Horn. I am a licensed psychologist and the shame-busting psychologist, because we need to get rid of that toxic shame so we can free the person that we are. All right. Thank you so much for all your support. Make sure you subscribe, send your questions. I love it. I love question and answers. Okay. Talk